So growing up, I had to forgive a lot of people, bad friends, people from school, but there was a time where I didn't even know how to forgive at all. Like I had so much hatred in me, and my heart got hardened just trying to protect myself. And I wouldn't let anyone get close. I couldn't trust anyone. I just assumed people were going to hurt me, be mean, call me names, all of that. And a big part of that came from school. I was the fat kid. At least that's what I believed. In reality, I was just a chubby kid. But kids don't really filter what they say. Whatever comes to their mind, they say it. And when you're that kid, you become a target, a big one. I remember people saying things that stuck with me. Things that made me feel like I'd even matter, like I should even be here. And over time, I started believing it. I didn't just hear those words, I turned them into my identity. I started seeing myself that way in the mirror. I started hating myself. And it didn't just stay there. It made me bitter towards everyone my age. I thought they're all the same. They're all going to hurt me. So I stopped trusting people. I assumed people would hurt me before they even had the chance. And I pushed people away. And what's crazy is, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I thought I was protecting myself. But really, I was just building walls. And those words, they didn't just stay in the past. They kept replaying in my head over and over. Like I would hear them again, relive them again. And it just kept feeding that bitterness and that hurt. And the Bible actually talks about this. In Hebrews 12:15, it says, "See it to that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many." And that's exactly what was happening. That bitterness wasn't just sitting there. It was growing. It was affecting how I saw people, how I acted, how I lived. But everything started to change when this very wise woman in my life showed me something I had never really understood before, aka my mother. She showed me what God actually thought about me and how forgiveness wasn't about letting people off the hook. It was about freeing myself, and that hit me because I realized I didn't want to push people away. That wasn't me. That was just my defense system trying to keep me from getting hurt again. But in doing that, I was only keeping myself from connection and from my relationships and from living. And she helped me understand forgiveness in a way I never had before. That forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It didn't mean you just forget it. It means you're choosing not to carry it anymore. And that lines up with what Scripture says in Colossians 3:13. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. Not because they deserve it, but because you've been forgiven. And that was hard for me at first, because I felt like if I forgave, I was letting them win. But really, I was the one losing by holding on to it. I started off by just saying, "Jesus, I forgive this person for what they have done. I give this anger and bitterness to you, Jesus." And over time, as I started letting that go, my heart actually started to soften. I wasn't as bitter. I wasn't as closed off. I started giving people a chance again. Not perfectly, but differently. And I'm still learning this. But if you're someone who's been hurt, and you feel that bitterness building up, or you've started to close yourself off from people, I just want to say this. You don't have to carry that. What happened to you was real. It hurt. But holding on to it is only going to keep hurting you. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you being free. And Jesus says in Matthew, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." And for me, unforgiveness was a burden. It was something I was carrying that God never asked me to carry. And when I started letting that go, things started to change. Not all at once, but little by little. So yeah, I'm still learning forgiveness, but I know this now. Holding on to it only hardens your heart. Letting it go is what actually frees you.